I don't know how this sounds. I don't know how this looks. I literally just clicked record. But I just got to talk about something real quickly here. I know it's been a very long time since I've done anything related to YouTube or streaming or anything like that. But I just got to talk about it. I'm not. I don't have an image or a video over this to show anybody. Um, Anything like that, but it's just me talking. I just got to talk about this because this is really irking me. And I'm just downright sick of it. So I pulled Destiny 2 into the middle for everybody to look at and everybody to see because this is what the video is about. It's about Destiny 2, and I'm sick and tired of what they're doing with the game and what they've done to a complete community inside of their community. There's the Destiny community at large, but then there's the PvE, the PvP, everything. There's so many different subsets of community inside the Destiny 2 community. And the problem is that they've completely neglected PvP. Completely. It's been 3 or 4 years now where I feel like there's been no balancing done. There's been no maps added other than maybe some unrecycled maps. Or I think the only new map that comes to mind that they've made new is was it called Disjunction? That new really long range map they made for Rift. I mean, that map fucking sucks. I'm sick of what they've done to the game. It's unbalanced. PvP is in shambles. It's sad because it's taken the whole reason of playing the game out of the game for me. It's taken everything out of the game. It took the wind out of my sails completely. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It's just literally, I can't get over the fact that nothing new has been added. There's been virtually no balancing done to help anything. They've just been adding new things for PvE, adding new guns, new abilities, new everything, and nothing for PvP. And then meanwhile, they sit here and they talk about we're putting in. We want this game to be more about gunplay. We're sick of all the ability spams. We're sick of this. We're sick of that. But what do they do every time without fail? They add a super in the game. The past 2 supers they've added in the game, the new ones, not Arc 3.0, not Solar 3.0, not Void 3.0. I'm talking about Stasis and Strand. I like Strand. I think it's a lot of fun to use, but the problem with it is the suspending. I know Warlocks can't do it, I don't believe, but Hunters and Titans can. It's not nearly as overpowered as freezing somebody in Stasis, or how it used to be at launch, at Stasis's launch. It was horrible. It was super overpowered. It was disgusting. It was bad. And then cut up to where we are now. All they've talked about is gunplay. We want there to be less ability spam. It's 60% gunplay, 40% abilities. We want it to be 60-40. We want it to be 60-40. But what do? They keep adding abilities in the game, like Suspend, like Freeze, where it completely takes you out of the game. Doesn't really, I mean, in Suspend, at least you can sort of use your gun, but you can't aim. You can't really move around. You're like 90% of the time that gets used on you, you're rendered useless. You can't do anything. And I think it's, once again, another Beyond Light Stasis situation where they've added something in the game thinking it may be revolutionary or fun or something like that, but all it does is wreck the Crucible economy. All anybody's doing is using Strand. Because it's busted. A Titan can grapple and one hit you if he's wearing Synthos. Even like the Titan exotic and the Hunter exotic are really, really good, very strong. The suspending is absolutely ridiculous inside the super as well. If you're a Titan, you can, right click, suspend them and kill them, no problem. I mean, it's just sad. And this is all while they've been preaching gunplay. We want more gunplay. We want less ability spam. Yet they add abilities like that render the gunplay completely useless. And on top of that, the fact that it just all recharges so much quicker than they than 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 it should. You know what I mean? Like, they say we want less abilities. We don't want things to be we don't want things to be regenning super fast. We don't want people just chucking these things around. We want less abilities. Yeah, what do they keep doing? They keep adding in these supers that get these fragments that makes certain things recharge quicker, or makes a buffs an ability and makes it do an extra thing that may make it busted, may make it more overpowered than it should have been in the first place. And they just keep doing this bullshit where subclasses have been completely revamped and the abilities are being spammed really more than they ever have before. But they keep preaching gunplay while not doing anything to make the gunplay better. Not doing a single fucking thing to make the gunplay better. Not one. It's just been, let's add these new guns that look almost identical to a lot of the old guns that have already been added into the game. Let's maybe change the RPM slightly or something. Change the name, change the color, maybe give it a new pattern on it. Put some new perks from that the other type of gun that looks the exact same can't have, and we'll roll with that. And it's that, it's this, it's that. I mean, I can't wrap my head around it. It's just so bad. It's so bad. There's so many things, and it's all so bad that it's almost impossible to articulate it and point out what I actually want to point out. I don't have anything written down. I don't have any bullet points or anything. I'm literally just speaking off the top of my head from my experiences in playing the game. It's been so bad to where I just don't want to play. I just don't want to play. It's literally one of the worst PvP shooter game experiences you could possibly be a part of. It's sad to say, but games like Fortnite and Call of Duty have surpassed Destiny 2. I used to think Destiny 2 had a really unique gunplay game system, and it still is unique, but it isn't as much unique now as it is just complete and utter dog shit. They've made it so there's so many guns that just melt you in 0.2 seconds. And if you're a returning player, all your guns take 5 minutes, an entire clip to kill somebody. If you don't literally play this game every single day, grinding the new shit, paying attention to all the new shit all the time, it's just, you never achieve, you just never achieve what other players are going to achieve. And I understand that's time in the game, but it's gotten ridiculous at this point. And honestly, it's hard to play and improve when you've added something so bad as skill-based matchmaking. That's mainly the biggest thing. I know I've been talking a lot about ability spam and gunplay and how they keep adding in abilities, and even though they keep revamping abilities, they keep adding in abilities, even though they keep saying and preaching we want more gunplay, we want better gunplay, yet they've done nothing to really revamp that system. In my opinion, at least, it doesn't really seem like they've done anything to revamp that system. They haven't done anything PvP side to really make the guns feel anywhere as good as the abilities are. And I guess the abilities are supposed to be inherently better than the guns, but when you can just throw them around willy-nilly and it doesn't matter, it makes the guns feel borderline fucking useless. You should honestly, at this point, don't even worry about having a primary. Just grapple around with a shotgun or use a submachine gun, and you're going to be just fine. That's where the game's at right now. It's sub spam. It's bullet spam. It's just bullet spam, ability spam. Shoot anything that shoots fast at and hits hard at close range. Pair that and use an overpowered subclass. That's all it is. It's just ability spam and guns to enhance the abilities, whereas it's supposed to be guns and abilities that enhance the guns or something like that. You know what I mean? And then we've got the crux of everything, the biggest issue, that at the end of the day, I could get past all the abilities and all the guns in the meta. I could get past it if it wasn't for skill-based matchmaking. It is the worst thing to ever touch video games. AAA companies keep making the same mistake over and over and over again, and they will not and do not listen to their community about it. It baffles me, it befuddles me. I just do not understand it. Every time, without fail, a AAA company puts skill-based matchmaking in their game. And as soon as they do that, a whole bunch of people are instantly out of there. Nobody wants to fucking do that. Nobody wants to go through sweating every single game, trying my hardest, trying my ass off every single match just because it's like, for what? It's not making me better. It's not making anybody else better by playing same people around your skill level. Like, players, for me, I was very, very good at Destiny, and then they added in all this skill based and all this other shit, and it just instantly made me not want to play the game. So I took a very long break from the game. So inherently, I'm like, okay, I'm not as good, but maybe the game has kept track of the fact that I haven't been on in a while. Maybe I'll play some shitters or whatever and get used to it. No, that's not what happened. I play sweats that get 2 and 3 KDs every single game. I get shit on every single game because while my account has stayed the same, I have fallen behind, and they've made it so every game I play is a competitive comp game. It's trials every fucking game. Without fail, the community hates it. Nobody likes skill-based matchmaking. It's never been a thing that people enjoy. Anytime a AAA game adds it, they hate it because it fucking sucks. It doesn't make anybody better. If I'm a 1.0 KD average player, right? If I'm if my average is 1.0 and all I play is 1.0s, I'm going to stay at that 1.0 level. I may get good enough to be like a 1.2 or 1.3, so then they'll go, oh, look, he's improved a little bit. Let's throw him into 1.5 lobbies. And then guess what? You get absolutely shit on because you're not used to 1.5 lobbies. You're used to playing 1.0s. So now your skill is capped at 1.0, and anytime you jump up to 1.5, you're going to get bumped back down to 1.0. It's just ridiculous. And then you look at games like Valorant, let's say, which at this point is a much better shooter game. But if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, and you can correct me if I am, but the game doesn't have skill-based matchmaking. You know, the comp system makes much more sense to where it's medal-based. Like, oh, I'm in bronze, and I'm only going to play bronze, maybe some low-tier silver players. And then when I get into silvers, I'm going to start playing only silver players and some low-tier golds. And it just keeps going up and up and up until you hit the max. And that makes sense, and that's fair for everyone. And it shows you your progress and how well you're doing. It makes sense. And the points that you earn towards your rank up is based off your performance in the game. So if you're dog shit, but your team's winning, you're barely going to get any points. And then eventually, yeah, you probably will level up to the next rank. But then guess what's going to happen? The rank system's going to do what it's supposed to do there. It's going to put you in a game with people like that, and it's going to bump you back down until you improve. Because you lose points when you lose, you gain points when you win. It doesn't make sense to add skill-based matchmaking in that, because instead now, what you've done is you've made it so, oh, I'm a silver player, let's say, and I play only silvers. I never play anybody in a low gold level. I'm only going to play people at silver level. I'm only going to play people skill around my skill level, balanced out. And what this does is it makes it so, oh, I'm not playing anybody above my rank. I'm only playing people my exact rank. So I'm only used to playing people my exact rank. So then when I do level up, obviously, because eventually you are going to level up in skill-based matchmaking, eventually, yeah, you will get bumped up a little bit. And then guess what happens? You're used to playing 1.0s, and you get shit on. There's not that gradual getting better where, oh, maybe I have a couple good games, but then, oh, I just played a crazy sweat guy, and I'm seeing how he plays, and now I can kind of improve and build on top of that. Now it's player 1.0s, only player 1.0s. Everybody's going to stay at this same level. You're never going to play somebody that's way too good or way too bad. You're always going to place people at your level, which is just stupid. It's just dumb. Skill-based matchmaking has never been good for any game that's ever added it, and yet AAA games keep making the same mistake. Instead of having a good way of showing me my rank up and showing me my improvement by going, hey, I played this well, I earned this many points, and now I've ranked up my medal, and I'm playing other people in that medal range. Now it's, oh, I only play people that get, because, I mean, in Destiny terms, if we're going in quick play, oh, I'm only playing people with 1.0 KDs, and then I get put into a lobby where everybody else is like a 1.0, and then there's like a random 2, and he just shits on you, and nobody gets any better. You know, you play quick play, you get him put in the skill-based matchmaking. If you're a good player like me, you have to sit there and sweat against top-tier players all day. If you're low tier, you're not getting anywhere. You're staying at the same skill. Whereas, as I've said in other games, Valorant, Apex, they have that medal system, no skill-based matchmaking, where you're playing people around your medal level, and as you do better in the game, you rank up and play better players. That's just how it should work. But instead, people keep trying to level out the playing field for these shit fucking just casual players that barely play the game. They're trying to make it easier for them when they do not play the game. They get on for a month when a new expansion or new season comes out. They get absolutely sick of it and they turn it off and don't touch it anymore. And what that does is, oh, I've made it easier for all these new players and whatnot that play for a month. But now what I've done is, yeah, it was easier for them. But all my loyal players that play this game every day, or the content creators who play this game for a living, they're left out to dry. They're hanging out to dry. They have no chance. They can't improve. It's an endless cycle of garbage. And I think Asdacross has really said it before, really well before. I think he had a video where the thumbnail said, at this point, I wouldn't even care if Destiny removed PvP. And that's where I'm at as well. Because skill-based has made the game bad. The abhorrent, just obvious denial, and just not caring about a whole part of the game. They just do not care. They will not add any new maps. They won't add new guns for the game mode or anything like that. It's the same. We're going to balance PvE, which in turn is going to break Crucible, and then, we'll fix Crucible when we feel like it. But, if it's PvE, let's fix it immediately. I always find it, I mean, it's very obvious that they don't care. I'll just end it off with this, is that I'll end it off with this as just a quick summary, just to summarize everything I've said. I'm sick of them adding abilities into the game that render your gunplay useless. Even though they keep preaching that they want gunplay over abilities, yet they keep adding things to make your abilities recharge faster, or something to enhance your ability, or an ability that renders the other player useless, in which they can't use their gun, and it's essentially a free fucking kill for you. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous, and it's sad. And then on top of that, I have to go in there and I have to sweat against these players that do this and abuse the game every single time because of skill-based matchmaking. I have to sweat against top-tier fucking players every time doing all this ability spam. And what has this done? It's made nobody that likes PvP want to play the game. Nobody wants to play it. Nobody wants to get on here and, I want to grind Crucible all day. It's like, I used to want to do that. Now I don't. Because there's skill-based matchmaking, and there's shitty abilities in the game that they keep adding and making better. And then you can say, well, they do care. They're just they care. They're just trying to do this. They're trying to do that. They're trying to improve PvE, or they are improving PvP, but they take a PvE whatever. They're improving PvP. They just take a little bit longer because maybe the team isn't as big, or whatever the excuse may be. I don't know. It's hard to make up an excuse because it's so obvious they don't care. It's hard to defend it. That's how hard it is for me to even make an excuse, because it's ridiculous. Literally, anything happens at PvE. Like, I'll just sprinkle this in. Lightfall was a terrible expansion. The story was bad. The guns were no fun. And the super, in my opinion, is kind of broken Crucible a little bit. And, if anything were to go wrong, with PvE in the raid, or, you know, oh, this exotic's a little broken, we think this might affect the raid some type of way, what are they going to do immediately? Within a couple of days, it's fixed. It's fixed, or it's shut down. They've disabled it until they can get it fixed, or they do fix it. But what happens when Crucible has a problem, like it does right now? Oh, that's okay. We'll worry about that in 4 years when, you know, when we decide we want to care. Pretty much, is the problem. They just simply do not care. It's very obvious that they do not care, and I'm sick and tired of it. It's hard to support a company that got away from Activision to do all the creative, to have all the creative power with the game that they want. But they keep making shitty expansions with a terrible story that doesn't explain anything, like Lightfall. Lightfall's story is terrible. It doesn't explain anything. It's ridiculously awful. And on top of that, it's fucking $10 more than the previous expansion. For what? I didn't get anything extra that Witch Queen didn't already give me. Witch Queen is a much better expansion. It's probably the second best expansion in Destiny 2's history. If not the second best expansion, I think, in my opinion, it probably goes Taken King is the number one ever, then Forsaken and Witch Queen. But you can argue that Witch Queen may be just as good as Forsaken, if not better. You could argue it. There's certain aspects of it that are much better than Forsaken, like the questing. And that's all that saves Lightfall's story, is the questing. But that's my problem. Is it's a $50 expansion for more. They keep adding in all this dog shit and not caring. They don't listen to their community. PvP is in shambles. I mean, the game is dying. The game is dying before our eyes. It's PvE may be in one of the best states it's ever been in. We'll have to see what the raid is like. But the story was horrible. And PvP is once again in shambles. And it's borderline, if not already, unplayable. We'll have to see what these future seasons or hot patches or whatever may entail. But as of right now, this is one of the worst expansions in Destiny's history, in my opinion. And honestly, I'm not going to say one of, it is the worst Crucible economy, PvP economy that the Destiny franchise has ever had. It's borderline unplayable, if not already unplayable. And I'm just going to leave it at that. It's just bad. Don't waste your time. If you're a PvP main, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. It's dog shit. Don't play this. If you haven't bought Lightfall, don't buy it. If you don't have Destiny 2, don't install it. Just leave it on the Steam and don't install it. Seriously. I mean, it's crazy how bad it is. But yeah, I could seriously ramble. I mean, it's already been 20-something minutes, 23 minutes and counting as I speak. I'm going to end it here, guys, but listen. I could ramble about this for 7 days straight. It's just one of the worst economies PvP's ever had, one of the worst expansions the game's history has ever had, and I'll leave it at that, guys. If you guys enjoyed this, let me know. I know this is kind of a negative point to come back to YouTube a little bit here, but it is what it is, guys. Destiny is kind of what I make my content mostly about, as you could tell by looking at my channel. And unfortunately, I just haven't been making videos because Destiny hasn't been good, and it just continues here. All right, guys. Peace.